Hello and welcome to a little chat. And what's funny is I just recorded one of these where I was very lively, going like this. So we'll see what if I do the same thing. Probably will. But this one, comfort is a curse. I'm not even putting words up there. Just pretend like there's words because I don't edit these. But comfort is one of those deals where I probably made a video with a certain title like this. I do not care. It just sounded cool. Comfort is a curse. Sound cool. But comfort, me, when I think of comfort, like I think of like a blanket. I think of like a hot cocoa. It's snowing outside, it's raining outside, and you're like kind of bundled up. But that is technically comfort. But when in the grand scheme of things, comfort is more so. It's like when it's like when people wear like the bubble wrap thing or like those like heavy vests and like the dog goes and bites them and they like fall over. They have all those things. That's what comfort is, but with life. We kind of put all these things around us or kind of do all this stuff to kind of prevent us from experiencing or dealing with the stuff that we really have to face. That's what it kind of is, at least what popped in my brain. I don't have any notes, that's popped in my brain. But it's really a curse. Comfort is one of those things that on paper seems great, but it actually is. It's like a lot of relationships, or a lot of like your girls or guys, you're like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. I was wrong. I was very wrong. And you think about that person for years. I haven't even had many of those experiences, but I could just tell. You just hear stuff. But comfort, the things that you think are likely going to be the solution or whatever, stuff like that, usually aren't. Usually it takes the stuff that sucks in order to actually do the things that you want to do with life and actually feel fulfilled, actually have peace, actually have true joy, happiness, all stuff. Because when you're comfort, when you're kind of staying, when you're kind of stuck in this thing, you're kind of unfulfilled. You're kind of like, it's almost like keeping yourself at a certain spot to where you can't grow or get any better. It's like I don't know I'm trying to think of what to compare it to, but it's one of those things where you're not allowing yourself. It's like having a plant that's kind of like growing and then you take away the sun. Like you're just kind of preventing yourself from doing as much as you could. Now don't get me wrong, comfort is important. It's an important element. Like obviously, I don't want to be like, I want to wear clothes that I like. I want a Drew Brees jersey that I've had for 12 years, but it's not like, okay, just be uncomfortable. Just wake up at 4 a.m. Always like be in an ice bath for 20 hours. But like obviously, when I'm saying this is mostly when it comes to the things that you do in life, like decisions you make, risk, all that kind of stuff. There's this fear that it feels like is so common of trying new stuff or like thinking outside of the bounds of what you see in front of you. And I think social media, all that stuff helps to see that there's a lot possible with this life. You can do a lot of stuff. And a lot of people come from a lot of worse situations than any of us here watching this, and have done things better than any of us watching it. Like there's probably millions, if not billions of people through our history who have done that. So it's not a situation of like where it's like, oh, it's impossible, but it's more so it seems impossible. And you're like, oh, they did that, but I'm not them, so I can't do that. And it's this perception that becomes super overwhelming to the point where you get stuck in this comfort bubble or this whatever, where you kind of stay within where you are and you never go up because you're too scared. And that's something I've dealt with for pretty much my entire life. And I still, in a lot of ways, deal with that and still struggle with going out and trying the next thing or doing the next thing. But it's really dumb. Because why? Because when you think about it, we're all people. It's not like there's people and then there's ultra people that suddenly are amazing. And sure, there are other people that are super talented and stuff, obviously. But talent doesn't quite get you anywhere without hard work. There was this one like college coach or something like that to say talent is worthless if you can't use it the right way or something like that. I think it was Nick Saban, good coach. But if you're not able to use what you're like gifted to do in a right way, then it's not anything. So it's that combination of doing that allows you to do anything. But I think we all have this perception that we're not good at anything or not whatever. And obviously, there are certain things I'm very bad at a lot of stuff. Very bad. But it came from trying a bunch of stuff that I learned, like, you know what, actually, I like this. I'm not bad at this. I like this. I'm not bad at this. And then what you do is you find these things and you spend a lot of time working at them. And then you see like, you know what, I actually got better at this than I thought. Or actually this is whatever. But that combo doesn't come when you stay comfortable. When you stay comfortable and you're not trying these things, then how are you ever going to do it? Because the reality of anything great is that it takes one step at a time. It's not like, oh, overnight, bang, you're from level 1 to like 5,000. It takes one step at a time every day, just working at a thing and trying to get better at it. And sure, there's no guarantees. Maybe you fail. Maybe you fail. But there's this one quote, I think it was James Cameron or something like that, where he said like, I'll shoot for the stars and at worst I end at the moon or something like that. Something like, I literally have it in this bio. I should know it better. But we kind of have this perception that it's not possible when it is. It just takes time and it takes patience and it takes stuff that a lot of people do not want to do. And so what happens is a lot of people have the ability to do something, but they don't. And they end up just, it's like, I used this example last time. It's like you're on a freeway, you're driving up, they just take that exit. They kind of like, you know what? I tried, I failed. But they don't realize failure is the thing that helps you get there, because you fail and you fail forward. You fail and you learn. You fail and you get better. Failure is the only way to see the things that you did wrong. You can't do that if you're. It's like how like in teams in a sport, like if you're only winning, then how do you see what you're doing wrong? When you lose, it's a reality check. You kind of need those things to kind of keep you in check, to help you learn. And we don't put ourselves in positions to fail enough. And so what we do is we stay comfortable. And when you stay comfortable, you're not growing, you're not doing anything. And by staying comfortable, I don't mean like, I mean when people like you kind of like archetype your life around being comfortable and keeping things within what you know and not doing things uncomfortable. And you kind of do the same thing over and over, expecting different results, which is insanity. You want to, see, the secret is it doesn't take that much. I am not successful at pretty much anything. I've pretty much been unsuccessful at everything I've done. But I've tried things and I've learned things to do and stuff because I failed. And I'm happier than I would be if I never tried. So be it. That's my life. That's my life. It's one of those things where why do we think that it's possible when in reality it just takes taking those steps, doing those things day by day, and incorporating that into your life to do it. Because a lot of people, I mean, it's tough to do things with a job. It's tough to do things when you're tired from a job, doing all that stuff. But there also is this beautiful thing called a weekend where we can do stuff or in between. And let's be honest here, if you really want to do something, you can find time to do it. If it's for 1 minute, if it's for whatever, if you're sitting in a car during lunch break, if you're doing whatever, the people that want to do stuff, do stuff. It's just how it is. There's people that literally are homeless and doing stuff. Like, it's like, I'm obviously coming from a place of privilege, saying all stuff. I don't, whatever. But it's almost like talking to my past self, because I stay comfortable. I stay in these situations. I wasn't trying stuff. And it just felt, it felt like bland. It felt like, why am I doing this life thing? Why am I in this situation? And then I started failing. Over and over and again, trying new stuff, failing stuff. And I realized, like, I actually like this thing or this thing and this thing. And if I was only comfortable, I would never find this thing. I would have never started doing these things if I didn't know. These are just a video journal pretty much, which is what I do. I've written thousands of these little journals about my day, like, oh, such and such happened. Usually it's about what's going on here. But it's like I never would have known that if I didn't try, if I didn't go out of my comfort zone to do that thing. And so staying in that comfort zone, it's like putting a baby gate on your life. Like, you're like, oh, I'm okay with this. And then you end up depressed. You end up feeling like uninspired. You end up in these marriages you don't like. You end up doing this, doing that, feeling like having all these regrets. Reality, to be great, to do anything you want to do, to like get out of the comfort zone, it just takes taking one step at a time. Doing that one thing that you're like, I should do this. And then you realize that, get a little confidence, get a little swag, and you do the next thing. You do the next thing, and you do the next thing, and you do the next thing. And you just keep doing that. That's kind of the secret to all this stuff. The secret to being great is a lot of little steps, a lot of hard work, a lot of time, a lot of patience, which is overwhelming, but then you take it. What do I gotta do right now? Oh, I gotta spend a few hours doing this. Oh, it's like working out. You really don't have to do it. If you, okay, you know what, I'm gonna cut these things out of my diet. I'm gonna work out 4 times a week for 45 minutes to an hour. If you literally worked out for 20 minutes a day, 4 or 5 days a week, and you just consistently did that, consistently incorporated veggies, incorporated protein instead of whatever you're eating, you'll be a billion times ahead of where you are. It's the same thing with life. If you're like, okay, I want to be really good at painting, I'll practice painting 30 minutes a day, 3-4 days a week, and yeah, that's all you gotta do. And that's why I encourage people. Obviously, I'm sure I'm talking to people in different situations, but to try and fail and get out of this comfort zone, do all that stuff before you get married, before you're in a relationship, before you're having kids. That's why I heavily encourage to start as soon as wouldn't make sense, obviously, you're like 2 years old. But don't, because what happens, and this is what happens a lot, is that people get in these relationships or marriage or kids and all that stuff with getting comfortable, and so they're stuck, and they're like, oh, I have no time to do this. I wanted to do this, but I never had time. You just gotta start doing this stuff. Start like incorporating it into your life, even if it's just on like, okay, let's say you're working and you got the weekend. Do it like 10 minutes. Just do it repeatedly. Repeatedly do something. Repeatedly do something and see where it gets you. See where it gets you. Do something that makes you uncomfortable. See where it gets you. See where it gets you. See where it gets you. It's one of those deals that it doesn't take. It takes a lot. It takes a lot, but it doesn't take more than you can do if you just take it one by one. If you just go out of that comfort zone a little bit, just try that new thing. Talk to that new person. Go to that new class. Do this. I'm talking to myself with a lot of this. Also, it just takes doing that consistently doing something uncomfortable, consistently following your dreams, consistently trying, consistently working out, consistently writing, consistently running. I don't know. Consistently doing something and chasing your dreams. That is really the key to being great. I'm not great at pretty much anything, but I am great at living because I'm still alive, I guess. But yeah, hopefully this helps. Just know, if anyone out there, Charlotte, I love you. I don't even think anyone's here, so love you. But yeah, you can subscribe, like if you want, and if you're still here, comment down below tangerine. I don't expect to see a single tangerine comment. If I do, I'll be pleasantly surprised. See you guys. Bye. Ooh.